So hey guys, here's my spoiler review looking like Jessica Jones right now. Make sure you watch my non-spoiler review just so you can see everything that was kind of leading up to me watching Star Wars The Force Awakens and such. But I'll probably make this one quick because there's not much I can really give, but just rehashing a little bit what I was saying in the non-spoiler review. I didn't again, and people were saying we didn't see anything new, but you know, that last China trailer or whatever it was, that last trailer I did where I put the spoiler warnings on there, it was really frustrating to have known where things were going to start leading up. You can just kind of tell by the way the set design works out, and just the way Star Wars is so elaborate and how every world has kind of like a life to it. You can just, you know, maybe I just have a good memory or something to do with the fact that I have to edit these reactions or something later, so I have to pay more attention to detail with every scene and such. But I could start telling when things were gonna kind of get put into place and things. One of the things that did catch me off guard, which I really liked, was when Kylo Ren did his force hold on the blaster and shit. You know, we've seen that move from Kylo Ren so many times of when he was going to use the force, but I never even caught that from the beginning. And some of the other trailers were a little kind of trickery, the way they set that up. I actually thought that who that pilot was really good. The way they made it seem like Kylo Ren killed him, in that last trailer I watched, but he actually didn't. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this isn't really a spoiler, but this is included. I'm a little concerned about how much they focused on that pilot. I thought it was a great idea. I thought that character was really good, but if that's something that's going to be leading into that next movie I heard, Rogue Squadron, the spin-off movie, then that's kind of frustrating, because it looks like they were just giving him a really big role to lead into a spin-off movie. Kind of the way the CW promotes their characters. I could be wrong. I'm just going to go with the fact that it's not so far, and otherwise I thought that was actually really cool. I thought he was actually a great addition to that story. He was funny, entertaining, and kind of like the new age Han Solo, so to speak. So I guess back in the spoiler territory, let's talk about the reveal. First and foremost, the reveal of Kylo Ren, who he was. And I thought, in a way, I'm kind of glad that wasn't a really big thing. They didn't really build it up to be. It was just that dude, straight. I know someone. See, the thing is, a lot of fans have speculations, and a lot of fans were pretty right on about it. Who Kylo Ren was, what's her name, Rey, is going to be. They didn't reveal that she's the brother of Kylo Ren. Maybe they're gonna as she's a sister, they're siblings, but I'm assuming that's pretty much the way it's gonna work, just because of what some of the you guys told me already and what the books kind of led into. The thing with that one stormtrooper that was screamed out traitor, and I got spoiled on that sort of lightsaber. I don't know what he was using to fight Finn with. But I felt like something got left on the editing floor or something like that, or there was some sort of backstory, because it just seemed like that stormtrooper knew more about Finn than the others or something like that. I know we didn't have a lot of time for a lot of backstory. I would have liked to have known a little more about how the stormtroopers come to be and reprogramming and all that. I thought weren't they clones at one time? I didn't get that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of those movies to maybe get some more detail, but some of that stuff I felt like even if you watched all the movies, you would still not have the full spectrum of what they were talking about, which was going on. Some stuff rehashed with the fact that there's the Death Star 2, or basically the bigger and better Death Star. I didn't find that too much of a problem, but at the same time, I felt like, okay, we're kind of going, this is kind of the similar story of last time, so kind of like that, you know what I mean? But I did like the fact that it was a sun sucker, and like how when the planet goes dark, that's when the shit's gonna go badass. And I really liked the way that led into the biggest what the fuck moment, which was when Kylo Ren kills his own father. I said Harrison Ford, but what's his name? Han Solo, right? That was done, even though you knew it was coming, and I was even whispering to my dude, I'm like, he's gonna fucking kill him. Just the way he played it off, I was just like, okay, like, it wasn't as shocking as I thought it was gonna be. Just after what he said, is like, what did he say? Something like, I have an itch, or I have an itch and needs to be scratched, or like, I need something to be done, like, I have this pain inside of me, I have this problem that needs to be lifted, can you help me? I'm like, he sounds so insane that maybe he's gonna kill his own father like that. And I was like, oh shit. When he did it though, I was like, oh shit. And then, like all death scenes, I was kind of wondering, okay, is he really gonna die? Like, is this it basically? And I felt like it wasn't real until I saw Layla actually feel it, and she felt something leave her, so to speak. And so that's when it actually started to feel pretty bad. But I don't know, I still think the window is kind of open for Han Solo to come back in some form or fashion. You just never know, right? What will happen when they drop down or whatever, right? You don't really know until you really, really know, so to speak. Even Darth Maul came back. And that motherfucker was cut in half and shit. So you don't really fully know. Only stormtroopers stay dead. Kind of. Stormtroopers could kind of hit some. Like, the stormtroopers seem to actually be more badass than I remembered. Like, I don't know, like, they just seem pretty dope. Like, some of them had fucking flamethrowers. One of them, that one dude had like the kind of lightsaber counter, so to speak. Then next thing, okay, Kylo Ren, when he made the reveal, I kind of could. It was kind of funny with Adam Driver's, like, it almost looked like his nose was just as broken as Harrison Ford's nose is, and I was like, I wonder if they did that on purpose or something to make it obvious. And like, my date, she's never seen Star Wars before, but she was just like, when he took off his mask and such, it was kind of like obvious. She's like, oh, they're kind of like brother and sister or something, like they're all related basically. So I guess there is that like feeling like you kind of already knew when he took off his. Would have been dope if it was Jon Snow though. That shit would have been fucking dope. It was Kit Harington playing I would have been like, oh shit. Like, that would have been just kind of cool to see 2 Game of Thrones characters in that movie. What else? Chewie went buck wild after Han Solo got killed. That shit was fucking. The Chewie was like, ba 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 ba, and just started shooting some people. I will say some of that was edited a little strange. I don't know if that was on purpose though, because they showed the stormtrooper aiming at Han Solo. And I just knew somebody was gonna die in that scene, and pretty much like it just seemed like it was like this stairway to the unknown, so to speak. But again, I did like the way that was played off, where everything went dark, and once the sun was completely sucked, the light was gone, and any chance of Kylo Ren doing anything was gone, basically. Like, or coming back to the light, so to speak. Once darkness set in, it was over for Kylo Ren, basically, and he turned to the dark side, so never to look back again. I will say Kylo Ren's feeling though, like, I thought he was really badass in the beginning and he was doing some dope stuff, but then he started getting a little too like Loki-ish, so to speak, like kind of had this father complex and was trying to prove himself to be better and all this like it was just getting kind of ridiculous. I was like, oh damn, he's not as badass as I thought he was going to be and such, and especially toward the end. But the one thing I had to remind myself during that lightsaber battle with everybody Finn, Rey, Kylo, and all that. It's just the fact that none of them are actually that experienced for lightsaber training, so to speak. None of them actually had, as far as I could tell, none of them actually really were that adept. Of course, Finn and Rey, but even Kylo Ren, it sounded like he was just being used by the dark side and not officially trained. And I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with him in his training when he's going to come back, all scarred up and shit. Very interesting to see what's up with Rey. That was really dope. I was not expecting her to wield the lightsaber. I am very curious to see, because I've been learning a lot about force sensitive and such matters. I'm very interested to see if Finn, if they're saving that for a future movie, if Finn's actually going to be like is he actually a Jedi? Or will he train to be a Jedi, but does he have the force inside of him? Kylo Ren sensed something. Everybody sensed something, but it didn't seem like they didn't go fully blown with him, like, because he was always wanting to use a blaster, things like that. So I'm very curious to see about him, what's going to happen to him next. And of course, let's wrap it up to the final scene as we finally see Luke Skywalker. Now, I have my opinion. I kind of thought it was a little weird that the whole story revolved around finding Luke Skywalker, and it was kind of, these points were kind of predictable that it was going to pay off at the that they were going to show him at the end. But maybe it's better than, you know, your typical like Marvel cameo. Like for a second when R2-D2 turned on, I thought Luke Skywalker was just going to show up and be like, "Hey, yo, what's up? I've been there all the time. It's time for your final training," or "It's time to begin training," and they were going to cut the credits. I was like, what the fuck is that bullshit? But I did feel like that last scene, it looked dope. It looked nice to see Luke was back, to show him, have the reveal and everything. I wonder if that was a fake beard or not. And then you have this elongated scene though of this. And actually more like holding that shit, and Luke was like, like, something about that. I know they were trying to do something there, and I was fine with that. It's just that I felt like the editing of that, if I swear to God, go back, we'll watch that again. It's very funny the way that was cut together with the music and how the music just kind of was going. Or like, it was kind of edited a little amateurish, I believe. I'm gonna watch, don't kill me, but I'm gonna watch it again. And it just seemed like that scene went on for a little too long, and the music came in at an odd time to kind of cut out and such. And then they started doing that aerial pan, probably with a freaking GoPro or something like that, but they did that aerial pan, which looked cool, but at the same time it was kind of shot in a very strange way. So I'm very curious, but I will say the scene locations of everything was just done so well, especially that final scene. I'm very curious, all the set locations where they shot everything, because things look very natural. Nothing really looked like a studio. And like I said before in my reactions, Star Wars just has this way of bringing a planet to life. There wasn't like heavy CG stuff or anything like that. So, I mean, this shit is dope. I'm just looking at this Bandai like panel. So you got a book they gave you. They're just basically selling a bunch of bullshit. But like a bunch of plastic stuff from Bandai. Interesting. The guy that I got in a fight with, where I was trying to break up the fight, all his shit got thrown to the side. Anything else I can tell you guys that I thought about? Like, I mean, pretty much it was a solid movie. Liked it a lot. Had a lot of nostalgia to it, but I think it was also a kind of, I felt like they also missed the boat in they had a short amount, for people that have never seen any movie, there was kind of a little bit of a jump off point for some of this, but a lot of that was just, you had to have seen the original movies, the first three, episode 4, 5, and 6, that kind of gotten fully on board with shit, especially because it was so Chewie and Han Solo focused and such. But otherwise, I thought every character was done well, very well, and it's gonna build on to something else. Okay, all right, guys, there you go. That's my spoiler review and what I thought about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Looking forward to it, and like, share, subscribe, and may the Force be with you.